Hello and welcome back. My name is Carl, and I'm here to bring you today's faith message. We are currently still in a series on heroes of the faith, characters in Scripture that have just been recognized for their faith, for various things that they did, and looking at what specifically different characters did that we can kind of emulate and look at to grow our faith and to see what we can do to also be heroes of faith. Today's character is Joseph, and Joseph uh, was also known as the dreamer. He had a couple of dreams throughout his life that were really significant. And one of the things, if you think about Joseph's life, Joseph had dreams which his brothers didn't like because of what it said and meant, and the fact that it basically said that they would kneel down to Joseph, who was the younger brother. And so they decided to sell him into slavery. But long story short, we come today in today's story where Joseph is sold to the Egyptians. And Joseph in chapter 39 from Genesis says this from verse 1. Now Joseph had been brought down to Egypt, and Potiphar, an officer of Pharaoh, the captain of the guard, an Egyptian, had brought him from the Ishmaelites who had brought him down there. The Lord was with Joseph, and he became a successful man, and he was in the house of the Egyptian master. His master saw the Lord was with him, and the Lord caused all that he did to succeed in his hands. So Joseph found favor in his sight and attended him, and he made him overseer of his house and put him in charge of all that he had. From the time that he made him overseer in his house and over all that he had, the Lord blessed the Egyptian's house for Joseph's sake. The blessing of the Lord was on all that he had in house and field. So he left all that he had in Joseph's charge, and because of him, he had no concern about anything but the food he ate. And I want to just pause there for a second and just recognize, number one, Joseph was continually obedient to God. And we see this throughout his life. And his obedience came to no matter what the cost, he would follow God. And one of the things that we see throughout Scripture, and this is one of the kind of like almost not quite a formula, but we see that if you want favor, which is exactly what Joseph had, the only way to have favor is to be obedient to God. And Joseph was so obedient that in all that he did, he continually found favor with God. Found favor with God and with man. And so we see Joseph being bought by this Egyptian, and he's working in his house, and everything he touches is successful. And so again, just a testimony of Joseph's obedience. But what I really want to focus on is what happens next. Now Joseph was handsome in form and appearance. And after a time, his master's wife cast her eyes on Joseph and said, "Lie with me." But he refused and said to his master's wife, "Behold, because of me, my master has no concern about anything in his house, and he has put in everything that he has in my charge. He is not greater in this house than I am, nor has he kept back anything from me except you, because you are his wife. Now then, can I do this great wickedness and sin against God?" And as she spoke to Joseph day after day, he would not listen to her, to lie beside her, or to be with her. But one day, when he went into the house to do his work, and none of the men of the house was there in the house, she caught him by the garment, saying, "Lie with me." But he left his garment in her hand and fled and got out of the house. So the story carries on that she then yelled and basically accused Joseph for what she was wanting to do. And I find this really interesting in Joseph's life and a good lesson for us to know. Joseph was obedient, like I said, continually always obedient. But Joseph also knew when to run. And I think for us, sometimes we need to know when do we stand firm. And Joseph continually said to her, "No, no, no, no." But when the time came where no was not enough, what did he do? He turned around and he ran away. And I think for us in our own lives, we need to realize and recognize there are some times when we can be used for God's glory in difficult situations, even through temptation, where we don't give in. But I think there are some times where we've got to realize and recognize that it's better to get out of Dodge. And I love this about Joseph, the fact that he had everything. Everything. And this woman was, and it would have been easy for him to give in, but he didn't, because he was faithful to God, and he was faithful to his master, who was Egyptian, who wasn't even his own religion. And so, just something to think about. No matter who you are, where you come from, God calls us to be obedient. And it's not about being strong. Sometimes strength is shown by knowing when to run away, knowing when to leave, knowing when not to be in a place where we falter unnecessarily. So I hope this encourages you and blesses you, and may we all strive to be like Joseph in his obedience to God. I hope this blesses you. Cheers.